Hello, my loves. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. For those of you who are new, my name is Hannah, and I'm here to help you step into your power and create a life that you absolutely love. I'm here to help you break out of the limitations and the anxiety and the fear of the ego, your mind, and really create and allow success and prosperity in all areas of your life in a way that is most aligned for you on your own terms. Okay, and so I am just sitting here right now, totally blissed out in so much peace. And I want to share with you how I got here. And I want to share with you because I was just prior to this experiencing the opposite. And I used my tools, the tools I teach my clients, because they're the tools I do for myself and I know they work. So I'm going to share with you the tool, and then I'm going to share with you the insight that just came through. But before we get started, I just want to let you know that if you want to check out all the other ways to connect with me, so if you're watching this on Instagram, the link will be in my bio. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link will be in the description box below. But there you'll find the link for my YouTube channel, the podcast, my courses, how to work with me one-on-one, my Patreon group, my Etsy shop, all the things. Okay, so that's where you can do that. All right, so I had a moment just a few moments ago where I was feeling stressed and overwhelmed, and I knew that these were old thoughts, patterns of thinking, fearful, doubting thoughts that are really ready to go. And I know that because as they were coming up, I was feeling them, and I was like being more so the observer of it instead of getting so caught up in the narrative of the ego, right? I was just looking at them like, I actually kind of don't believe these anymore. This is interesting that I'm feeling them. And I literally just did the whole let go and let God thing, right? This has been my new favorite tool lately. I literally felt it and I said, okay. And I thought open. So I taught this the other day, right? So just open your heart, breathe, put your shoulders back, feel that heart space opening up, and choose love. I said, I choose love. I open and I said, God, universe, here's what I'm feeling. And I'm just handing it over to you. I didn't explain it. I didn't argue for my limitations. I didn't try to figure it out logically. I just handed it over. And then I continued what I was doing, and now I'm sitting down and I am just experiencing levels of peace that are blowing my mind. And these are the kinds of experiences I'm having every day. And I can truly say the better it gets, the better it gets. This is the most rewarding journey and path you could ever be on, my loves. Like, it is the most rewarding. And I'm sitting here having the realization that one, handing over your fears literally is that easy. And two, we think that abundance and prosperity and having it all, the ego likes to make you think that it's the doing, the chasing, the achieving, the accomplishing, the having, the gaining, which I'm not saying that that's not a part of it, but the true prosperity, the true wealth, the true richness is in those moments where there's nothing, where it's silent, where it's still, where you are at peace and calm. And I want you to think about whatever the thing you're trying to accomplish and achieve right now. I want you to think, how would you feel once you receive it after the initial excitement wears off? You would feel calm, right? Likely you want that thing because you want to just relax. You want to feel good. You want to feel safe. But where, my love, in your life are you ever practicing that feeling? Do you ever just sit and be like, I'm good, and really, really allow yourself to be present? This is something you have to practice. It does not happen overnight, and I can tell you that. I am someone who had high levels of anxiety ever since I was a little child. I had a really, really tough upbringing, and I had a lot of things to overcome. And even when I first started my coaching business, I still was struggling with anxiety. And I am noticing it. I'm watching it literally become less and less before my very eyes, and is the most beautiful blessing. It's like the old little fears that used to get to me. I used to have the tools to work through them, and now it's like I don't even really have to work through them. I'm just thinking, this is funny. The ego's fighting really hard. I'm just going to hand it over. And then I'm sitting here just so happy and so fulfilled. And so the second insight that came through that I want to share with you, my loves, is when you think about surrender, the ego will always try to get in your way and make you attach a feeling, an idea of, ooh, surrender means like releasing something, like I'm letting go, I'm going to be in lack, I'm going to be without. It means sacrificing something. It attaches like a lackful vibe to it, like you're missing out on something, right? Like, oh, if I was to surrender to God or the universe's plan, it's not going to be quite as good as my plan. Lie number one, right? But here's the thing. When you surrender, you gain everything. And it happens in an instant. You can access these levels of peace now. And the more you practice coding your energetic system with this, the more you practice calming your nervous system and wiring in these new ways of feeling, these new emotions, these new practice states of being, of vibrating, the easier it gets. You build more momentum. The better it gets, the better it gets. And you know, if you study the law of attraction, you know what kinds of things you manifest into your life when you're in this state. Everything you could ever want, and more, and better. So guys, I invite you to try the technique I just told you. It is like the easiest technique ever. And I understand that you're all at different points along your journey. And I know this because I've been at different points along my journey, and I am continuing the journey. This is a lifelong thing. But I just, if for those of you who are really struggling still, I want to let you know, as someone who's like, would consider myself like more on the other side of the difficulties for the most part, like my main difficulties in life. The more you practice this, even when it looks like it's not working, even when you're like, why is this still coming up so clear? How many times do I need to go through this? The more you can just keep the faith and stay consistent and just know and just really buckle down and do it and be very, be very vigilant with your mind, with surrendering more and more and more. It's like Gabby Bernstein says, when I surrender some more. Just keep doing it. At some point, you will reach this feeling, this state within you where you know, even when things have not shifted on the outside, you know the tables have turned. You know you've like tipped the scales enough on the other side that you're never sliding back. See, a lot of people stay around the edge and they keep sliding back. But if you keep at it, you'll get to this point where you know it has tipped. You're on the other side. And you know that it's just going to get better and better and better. And you know you're not going back. And that will help you stay the course. And then once you're there, you're golden. And it keeps building. And when you're looking for the little miracles, those little miracles quickly turn into big miracles. And then your life is just so full of miracles that you don't even have to try to look for them anymore because you're just living a giant miracle. And I'm sharing this with you because I know a lot of you are really frustrated. This has been a hard year. We were all struggling with anxiety before last year, let's just be honest, okay? This year just brought it up to the surface. And you know this, but I'm going to tell you again. Anytime something's coming up to the surface, it is an opportunity for you to clear it and heal it once and for all so you can get on with your life, get on with your purpose, and do what you came here to do and experience what you came here to experience and stop suffering. Like you've waited way too long. You've waited long enough. So use the uncomfortable moments to your advantage. When you have the fears and the doubts, commit to investing in your future. And the way you do that is by handing it over, by choosing love over fear every single time. And I know that the hardest part is when you're getting started. The hardest part is like building up that momentum when you're so spiraled downward, you're so deep in it. You're like, I've never known anything other than this. And you really need to get in the energy of someone who can help you, whether that's joining a group on Facebook or a coaching a coaching program or working with someone or getting a mentor, like whatever you need to do, or developing your spiritual practice more, commit, have some sort of support system to help you so you don't keep sliding back. It's like, don't quit 5 minutes before your miracle, because I promise you, when you keep at this, you'll get to the point where the scales have tipped in your favor. They've already tipped. You're over the hump. That's a good, like imagine like there's this hump, right? And you're over it. You may be at the top, but you're like over. So you're not going back. You're not going to slide back. So the work I do with the clients I support is to get you to that space where you're really solid within yourself, where you have gotten enough proof for your ego, for your mind, that this is working to help you change your mind. Like, that's the real miracle, right? I forget who says that. I think it's Amanda Francis. She says, like, the real miracle is that you changed your mind. To help you build that positive momentum, to give you the tools, to give you the support, to hold you accountable, right? So that you can build that positive momentum so that the scales start to tip. And then you're well on your way. Because as you continue this, if you continue moving forward, it will keep getting better and better. But where it will not get better, where it will actually get worse and worse and worse, is if you just teeter right at that point. Every time you're triggered, every time the doubts are coming in, every time the fear is coming in, you have a choice. It's an opportunity. Are you going to choose to fall back into the negativity and back into the disbelief and back into the doubt and the fear and the despair? Or are you going to stick it out through that uncomfortableness and try something new so that you can get on the other side of that and land more deeply in love, in peace, in prosperity, in abundance, and support? The choice is yours. And if you would like me to support you, I would love to see how I can work with you, okay? The link for all the things will be either in the bio or the description below. But let this be your sign, your word of encouragement for those of you who are going through something difficult and you are looking around and it looks like things aren't working. That is not the moment to look outside of you. You need to look within. You always need to look within and cultivate that feeling from within. And let it be as easy as what I just explained to you today. Don't argue for your limitations, as Abraham Hicks says. Don't say, God, universe, I'm really stressed out because it looks like this and blah, 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 blah. And don't do that. Just say, I'm handing this over to you. And then really let it go. Okay. I love you guys so much. I hope you're doing well. I'm sending you a lot of love from my heart to yours. You've got this. There are so many people stepping up and doing this work. You're not alone. You're not alone in what you're feeling. You're not alone in wanting to get to where you're wanting to be, right? There's a lot of us all stepping into our soul work more. There's a lot of us lifting each other up. There's a lot of us spreading positivity and light. So you're not alone. And if you're feeling alone, get yourself in the energy of someone who's going to help remind you of that, because that will help you not slide back into the old way. You owe it to yourself. And I don't mean this in a negative way, but in case you haven't noticed, the outside world just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and crazier and crazier and crazier. So there's never been a more pivotal time for you to choose yourself and to choose to invest in your future and creating the kind of life you really, really desire. Because I think by now we all realize that doing things the way the world does it doesn't work. And it's working less and less and less because the energy is changing. And energy doesn't lie, right? You can be saying all the right things, but if you are not feeling it, if you're not really believing it, if you're not embodying it, you're not going to experience it. So it's time to really walk the walk and choose yourself. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Okay, guys, sending you lots of love from my heart to yours. Have a beautiful day, and I will talk with you soon. Bye.